costs of it.
And have we had that discussion? I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking that we're looking at a kind of a, well, first of all, I'm not sure if we're looking at, if we're supposed to be saying this house, you know, that you've already looked at is a good idea. I don't know if that's what you're looking for today.
Well, that's part of what we're looking for.
Okay, but in my mind, I'm also thinking the age range of kid that we're looking at is 16, 17 to 21 maybe.
Yeah, I'd say that's.
I mean, that's the age range, but I don't know, yeah, so people are nodding their heads. I'm not sure we've had that discussion. So,
Go for it.
as a group, maybe people need to decide what ages are we talking about.
I think, to me, the county and the state really are, when they're under, 16, 15, somewhere in that area, they tend to be much more in charge of the younger kids, right? When
Well, if they're under 18, there should be a family, parent, agency that's legally responsible for them.
But if they're under, isn't there a certain age that if they're under, you know, having a transitional home or something like that for them is nearly impossible?
Well, they have to be licensed under some kind of child care licensing.
To have any age? Okay.
And I think when we first started, we were kind of looking at that gap between like the 16, 17-year-olds because children younger than that, like you say, have certain rules or whatever, but there's like this gap before you turn 18 that there's no place for these kids to go.
What we're also, I work in juvenile probation. What we find is that there is sometimes, we have a difficult time maybe finding foster care for delinquent youth because, you know, maybe the other youth that are in the home that poses a risk to them. So I think that we also see a gap probably in services for that older, like that 16 to 21.
Yeah, and that's something that we've heard. There was in fact, that's why, part of the reason why one of the RAF members is very interested in this. They took in a 17-year-old girl who got kicked out of home by mom and who had a history of prostitution for trying to get by. And when they worked with this girl trying to get her services, they went through everything locally they could possibly go through and got nowhere. There was nothing that anybody could provide for her. And you know, couldn't get her into foster care for the most part because she was older, had that history, that kind of thing. So, you know, there's that feeling that there is a certain population of people that there's no services here for them. There's nothing to do.
The other scary thing that you were alluding to, and I don't know, I don't want to scare you anymore, but a lot of kids, it's not just their immediate parent or guardian who is a danger to the child or somebody else. Often there's all kinds of family members who are extended family who are no more appropriate for this child to live with. In your case with the nephew, obviously you're not, but when you take a kid in and nobody is there to provide the kind of liability or support, people worry about what if Uncle so-and-so knows where this kid is, comes to my house, you know, intimidates me. There's a lot of that kind of fear.